Let's start. So, hello, how are you, Mehdi? How are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
So, yeah, first introduce yourself,
Yeah,
uh, what you are doing right now, and where did you finish your study, and what was your major and stuff.
I am a student from Dhaka University. I studied physics for uh, for 4 years, and now I'm trying to do a PhD in uh, uh, university for now.
Yeah, you're planning to go for your PhD, right? In
Yes,
physics as well.
yes.
Okay, so if I were to, you are a student of physics and you have a good understanding of physics. And if I were to ask you, as as someone who does not believe in God, this is a hypothesis. I do believe in God, but there are lots of people who does not believe in God, and they want to understand from the perspective of science. They don't believe in someone's statement. They don't believe in religious texts. They don't even believe in logical reasoning that is grounded in history or um, human behavior. So if someone like this, someone like an atheist or agnostic, ask you, how can you prove the existence of God from science, through science, from the perspective of science? What would be your answer?
Well, first of all, there should be some rules that need to be very cautiously uh, expected because, for example, number one, it has to be the proof has to be logical in a way.
Okay.
It has to be grounded in a logical framework because if we're in a framework where illogical things are accepted, then anything can be anything, right? Nothing can be proven in
Yeah.
an illogical framework.
Yeah.
So,
We want to understand from logical framework that is grounded on science.
yeah. So first rule should be that it has to be in a logical framework. The second rule is that you have to accept the empirical evidences, right?
Yeah.
If someone right now, for example, we know the speed of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second.
Yeah.
But if someone asks how do you know it's not something else?
Yeah.
That cannot be proven or disproven. For example, this type of questions actually violate the empirical evidence we have that the speed of light is a constant value. So the second rule should be that any argument cannot uh, violate the empirical evidence.
Yeah.
And third rule should be that your argument or uh, your response shouldn't have vague something vague.
Yeah.
Uh,
It should be
for
solid. It should be. It shouldn't be illogical. It should be logical, right?
Yes, logical, but what I mean is that it shouldn't be vague in response. For example, if I say, how do you explain this? And if your answer is something takes input as something as input and gives output, the result we're trying to get, then this is a vague answer. It
Yeah.
doesn't explain the process or what it is taking as input or whatever.
Yeah.
So the response cannot be vague.
Of course.
So these three rules should be uh, kept when we're trying to prove something,
Yeah,
right?
I
So,
agree.
so if we accept that, the argument I'm going to present is that it's conceptually the Kalam argument from Imam Ghazali, but it's reconstructed a bit. So the main principle we are going to use is the mutually exclusive and exhaustive principle,
Yeah.
right? So, for example, something cannot be A and not A at the same time. If
Yeah.
something is A, it has only two options, A or not A. A and not A, these two options are mutually exclusive and exhaustive.
Yeah.
Why do you want to use this principle? So that there's no false dilemma, logical fallacy,
Yeah.
right? So if we use that principle,
Yeah.
then if someone asks how this universe came to existence, the universe, the options we have for the existence of universe are either the universe came from nothing,
Yeah.
the universe came from something.
Yeah.
This is these two options are mutually exclusive and exhaustive.
Yeah.
The universe came from something, the universe came from nothing.
Yeah.
Then the universe came from something, or the universe was caused by something. The universe was caused by something. In this case, the universe was the universe was caused by something, or the universe was never caused,
Yeah.
right? These two will be mutually exclusive and exhaustive. So we have three options. The universe is caused by nothing, the universe is caused by something, the universe is not caused.
Yeah.
So let's go back to our first example. The universe is caused by nothing.
Yeah.
So when some people actually try to use this argument that the universe could be caused by nothing, this is actually an illogical statement.
Okay.
Why? That, for example, let's say a bag was stolen by nobody.
Yeah.
In principle, it just means that the bag wasn't stolen.
Yeah.
So, the universe being caused by nothing is actually this option one is basically the option three. The universe was never caused,
Yeah.
right? The universe is not caused. Just like the bag was stolen by nobody, in principle, just means that bag wasn't stolen.
Yeah.
The universe is not caused, in principle, just means the universe is not. The universe is was caused by nothing. Just in principle means the universe was not caused,
Yeah.
right? So,
But that's not true. Universe, they did cause, and we are existing. We are living in a reality. So
yeah,
it's impossible.
yeah, but I'm going to prove it through uh, law of science, right?
Yeah.
But before that, let's talk about why some people use try to use science to prove the universe could be caused by nothing.
Okay.
So when in science, many scientists actually argue that universe could come from nothing. They are actually not talking about absolute nothingness,
Yeah.
right? They still believe the system existed, the energy existed, right? The they are mainly talking about the quantum fluctuations,
Okay.
right? But the quantum fluctuations, in principle, has to have ground energy, the lowest possible energy. A quantum system cannot have zero energy in its system.
Yeah.
Without energy, a quantum system cannot exist.
Yeah.
So when some people try to argue with quantum fluctuations, they are basically ignoring the fact that quantum system cannot exist without uh, exist in a system where energy is zero.
Yeah.
Then the system at least have to have minimum energy. So they are already agreeing that energy already exists and the system already exists, right? So that's why those propositions are actually baseless. The scientists are not claiming that the universe could come from absolute nothingness.
Yeah.
So that's the first option.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the third option before going to second option. The third option is the universe is not caused,
Yeah.
right? So meaning the universe is eternal,
Yeah.
or the system we have without God, the system we have could be eternal and self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So there has the scientists or anyone who has to who wants to argue has to give a system which is self-sufficient
Yeah.
and eternal.
Yeah.
If the system without God cannot be self-sufficient, then we can argue that the second option is the
Only
truth,
possible option.
only possible option.
Because
right?
we are not self-sufficient, right?
I'm not talking about actually us. I'm talking about
The whole universe.
whole system.
Yeah,
right?
the whole system is not self-sufficient.
So, for example, let's say some people try to argue that either how could the system look like without God?
Yeah.
Either the universe existed, always existed by itself,
Yeah.
or the universe existed with something else, right?
Yeah.
Other universes and so on. These these two options are mutually exclusive and exhaustive.
Yeah.
You can either be by yourself or with something else.
Yeah.
There's no no other option possible in this case. So it is mutually exclusive and exhaustive. Now, we know from the second law of thermodynamics that in an isolated system, entropy never decreases.
Okay.
Right? Entropy always either remains constant or it increases. Entropy will never decrease. No matter what you do, whatever action you perform, whatever work is done,
Yeah.
entropy is going to be going to increase.
Yeah.
Right? So so when we see the universe, the second law of thermodynamics suggests that if the universe is by itself, the universe is going to be an isolated system, and the entropy is going to continue to increase, and it is never going to decrease. So it will lead to heat death, right?
Oh.
So the heat death, meaning that no work done is possible, and the universe is going to become the energy is going to completely become useless. All the energy in the universe are not going to produce any useful work. So and if someone suggests that universe could be with something else, still that if there are multiple universes, which many people suggest that there could be multiverses, right?
Yeah.
Even if there are multiple universes and they are connected, the total system still would be isolated system,
Yeah.
right? and the isolated system in total cannot be the isolated system will still follow the second law of thermodynamics and cannot have their entropy decreased. So the entropy still will, in the absolute sense, the entropy will still increase
Okay.
in the total system, right?
Okay.
So there's no possible action that can decrease the entropy of the universe.
Yeah.
So ultimately, the universe is going to extinct, is going to have the heat death,
Okay.
and it shows that the system, however we see, is going to be not self-sufficient.
Okay.
It can never be a self-sufficient system, right? There you'll see there are some universe models where scientists try to explain different types of phenomena in the universe. Some suggest that as we know, universe is expanding, and some scientists suggest that universe could continue to expand and then contract, and it can go on forever and ever.
Yeah.
But these types of suggestions actually violate the second law of thermodynamics,
Okay.
because we know that any types of action will going to increase entropy.
Okay.
So it means that even if we have a isolated system, and the system actually expands or contracts, entropy will increase no matter what.
Oh.
As work is being done, energy continues to become useless energy, right? And a universe that continues to expand and contracts, in this system, as the universe is isolated system, entropy is going to continue to increase, and it can never go for infinity, right?
Okay.
It can never go on forever. So the system cannot be eternal
Yeah.
or self-sufficient, right? Now, some universe model uh, tries to solve this entropy problem,
Yeah.
right? So one of the model is eternal inflation universe model,
Okay.
right? So in the eternal inflation model, uh, this is the only model that solves the entropy problem and gives the process to solve this issue.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the process it has for solving the issue uh, undermines its attribute of self-sufficient, because the process itself makes itself a not self-sufficient entity, right? For example, in the eternal inflation model, the proposition is there's a parent universe.
Yeah.
The parent universe is constantly on low entropy, absolute low entropy, right?
Yeah.
So it decays from the parent universe is in a false vacuum state, and it decays from its false vacuum state to true vacuum state, when and it produces certain bubbles of child universes,
Okay.
right? So that's how our universe and other universes are formed from the parent universe.
I see.
And the parent universe, as the parent universe has a constant low entropy, yeah, it has it doesn't have the entropy increasing issue. right? But here lies the problem that about the process. The process is that the process itself incriminates the parent universe as an unstable universe, as it is in a false vacuum state, and the child universe has true vacuum state. It shows that the parent universe is in unstable condition. So the probability that the whole parent universe decaying into a child universe is non-zero.
Okay.
So what do we mean by that? Meaning that the total parent universe, even though the parent universe is expanding,
Yeah.
but the child universe that gets created is the size is not constant, right?
Okay.
So the whole parent universe, the total parent universe could someday suddenly become decayed into the child universe,
Okay.
right? So if that happens, the total system is suddenly going to be
Collapsed.
collapsed,
Yeah.
right? So it shows that the system is actually not self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So the argument I am making is that there exists no universe model that shows that there could be a system which is self-sufficient, right?
Yeah.
Now, could universe without being caused come from a non-dimensional universe, for example? What do you mean by that? As we are talking about entropy, increasing entropy, and entropy is directly connected with time.
Yeah.
So we understand that if time exists, then entropy is always going to increase, right?
Yeah.
But so what it means that anything the universe being with or part of a whole system which is also dimensional is always going to have this problem. What is this problem? Is that the entropy is increasing, right?
Yeah.
Or even if it has certain process to eliminate the issue, it still will have a process that's going to make it unstable. So, so what I'm saying is that so we have to have a model. For example, the universe has to come from something non-dimensional,
Okay.
right? So, because dimensional means time is going to exist
Yeah,
and
yeah.
entropy is going to increase, right?
Yeah, you're right.
But here's the problem: if there's a non-dimensional entity
Yeah.
and there's a universe,
Yeah.
right? Without being caused,
Yeah.
universe cannot come from it.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
So because the anything that is non-dimensional
Yeah.
is not subject to change,
Yeah.
right? It does not change.
Yeah.
So if universe is part of a non-dimensional entity, it can never become a dimensional entity, right?
Yeah.
Our universe is dimensional,
Yeah.
and we have empirical evidence to suggest that.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, that the only possible explanation could be that there has to be a non-dimensional entity that
Yeah.
is not subject to any change or any entropy. From it, the universe has to come from the process of causality, right? So this is what goes back to our second option,
Yeah.
that universe is caused by something, and by something means the something also has to be non-dimensional.
Yeah.
It cannot be anything dimensional, right?
Okay.
Now let's talk about how do we know that this non-dimensional entity is conscious,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we can see that uh, if the entity was not conscious, unconscious means the creation would be random. We would have
Okay.
seen a lot of random things being created out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole creation wouldn't make any sense. Right.
Yes, that of course there's fine-tuning argument, the designing argument. But here I'm saying that if an entity has the attribute, obviously when we say that non-dimensional entity is
It has
causing
to-
something,
yeah.
it has an attribute called the ability to create,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Ability to cause.
Yeah.
So, but if it doesn't have any consciousness,
Yeah.
then it would be a random use of attribute.
Yeah.
And we would have seen a lot of randomly, suddenly seeing certain things is being caused
Yeah.
out of nowhere. But we don't see that.
Yeah.
As we don't see that, we have to infer that this non-dimensional entity has consciousness.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how we can prove that there exists an entity who is non-dimensional, who is not subject to change,
Yeah.
who is eternal, and as it does not, this entity does not have any entropy associated with it. So this entity is eternal,
Yeah.
and uh, whatever this system would be self-sufficient because the entity will can cause a lot of universes or other things, has the ability to cause and etc. Now, how do we know that this entity has to be one?
Yeah.
How can we say that how do we know that the entity cannot be more than one?
Yeah.
So this comes back to the attribute of causality, the attribute where the entity can cause something, right? Now let's say for the sake of our
For the
argument
sake of our-
that there's two entity.
Yeah.
One entity causes the universe to be,
Yeah.
and another entity causes the universe not to be.
Yeah.
Right? But this both of this entity has the power to cause,
Yeah.
to be and not to be are directly contradictory.
Okay.
Right? If one entity says the universe to be and another entity says the universe not to be, they will become contradiction to each other, and it will become illogical and they cannot exist.
But if someone says that, can they not work collaboratively?
It is not about the working collaboratively, right?
Okay.
It is about, do they have the power or not?
Okay.
If I have the power,
Yeah.
and if they both have this power,
Yeah.
these two power actually contradicts each other,
Yes.
because one entity has the power to cause the universe and another entity has the power to say the universe to not to be. So they are contradiction to each other.
Yeah.
From the logical point,
I see.
even before they use their ability,
Yeah.
right? So they cannot exist in the same frame,
Yeah.
right? In a logical frame, they are they are contradictory.
And both have to be infinite, right?
Both have to be infinite, yes, but for our argument, we are just focusing on the power to create, the
I see.
power to cause,
Okay.
right? And we see that if two entity with the power has the ability to cause, then they are going to be contradiction to each other and they cannot exist simultaneously.
I see.
So there has to be one entity who has the ability to cause.
I see.
So that's how we can prove that many may try to argue that how do you know this is God. We call this entity God,
Yeah.
and as we know that this entity has certain attributes, as we have just shown that the entity cannot be subject to change.
Yeah.
The entity's attribute cannot change, and the entity has to have the power to cause, and the entity has to be one,
Yes.
cannot be more than one.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. And there is a fine logic. There is a logic that makes sense, and that is a logic that clearly shows that there is an existence of God, a higher power, a superior being that exists separately beyond our dimension, this dimension.
Yes.
And he is enforcing these laws throughout the universe and making it and creating an environment for us to sustain and controlling everything. There is a fine control. All the laws, everything is following a law and everything is following a direction. Nothing is random in our world. Everything has a purpose, and we have clearly explained through science the existence of God. Thank you. And we can make part two, part three, other videos based on what we have covered. We can cover the other parts, other extension of this same argument later on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for attending and thank you for explaining this through layman terms. For people like me, this was understandable. I think it will help more people like me who wants to understand the existence of God from the perspective of science. And it was a clear explanation what you have just provided. Thank you.
You're welcome.